What is Lewis Hamilton's next move in F1? Let's now move to the big question then, shall we? Lewis Hamilton, what is next? We asked all of you on our YouTube community page, 73,000 of you in fact voted, about when you think he'll decide to call it a day. 20% said this year, 25% said 2024, 31% said 2025, and 24% of you said 2026 or later. That is the most evenly split thing I've ever seen for 73,000 people voting. And there being four options and nobody can agree, which firstly means there's no right answer, not yet anyway, he hasn't said anything. But it creates a fascinating debate. So what do we think is the big question now? Tommy, tell me yours first.
I find this a really difficult question to answer. I'd probably say at the end of 2025, but I wouldn't even say I'm even 50% sure I think that's the case. I think it's just so split, and there's a reason why this poll is so incredibly divided, because other people in Formula One, you can kind of guess their career paths a bit more, and when you think their time's coming to an end. Hamilton, you just don't know. So 2025, but I'm literally just throwing a dartboard.
And you're not very good at darts, I've seen you. So I think it's very performance-based. If Mercedes whack on the Red Bull aerodynamic approach, and all of a sudden next year they're challenging for wins, they're challenging for titles, I could see him, I can see him retiring earlier, but then would he retire if he's winning races and winning championships with a team? I genuinely believe that if Hamilton had secured his 8th title in 2021 and then saw that the 2022 car was as bad as it was, I think he would have retired at the end of last year. 100%. That's how I see it. It's so difficult, isn't it? Oh my goodness me. I just keep toing and froing about it. I feel as though in this situation right now, he will see until 2026. If Mercedes aren't good enough in the next few years, he's got to see at least 1 year of the new regs, just in case Mercedes or whoever he's with has that car to win. But then if he's in 2026 and then he starts winning everything,
then he won't want to leave. Yeah, I know, right?
Zach__17 asks, do you think Lewis still has the belief that Mercedes can be contenders soon? Or are these recent frustrations actually the realization that it won't happen anytime soon at Merck? I think he still has the belief. I think he has to. It'd be harsh of him to lose all belief in Mercedes after winning 8 constructors' titles and 7 drivers' titles. Obviously, not all of them for him, but the majority. For him to give up on Mercedes, I don't think it's the right decision. And also as well, when you look around, where else could he go where he could be more confident of a decent car that is a realistic option for him? That's the thing, right?
Yeah, true. I mean, Hamilton, I think he's still got the belief there, but it probably just stings that they say everything that happened in Abu Dhabi, and now he's seeing Max Verstappen breeze past him on the straight like he's driving a Formula 2 car, and Max is in a Formula 1 car. It's crazy. And the thing with Hamilton is as well, everyone mentions the comment from Toto Wolff about everyone's got a target on their back. But I saw a clip the other day that's now aged incredibly badly. At the start of 2022, a journalist asked him, how would you feel if Mercedes got the rules wrong? Like, what would happen? And he's so dismissive, and it's that quote of, my team don't make mistakes. Why would I possibly think that? And they have. And they did in 2022. And they have in 2023. And that's got to hurt him, because he has been used to, for so long, it's been nearly a decade where he just goes into a season and he knows he's got a car to deliver the championship.
Next question, Pit_perspective. How did the replacement of Bottas with Russell affect Lewis? Of course, Bottas being the best wingman ever. Do you remember that? That was good old Bottas. Those were the days, eh? It's difficult to really measure if the changing of teammates has affected him. If anything, you would think having healthy competition will help you push forward and push the team forward and make them better. So I'm not really of the opinion that it's affected Lewis much, if at all, having a different teammate. He's had other teammates in the past. They're not fighting tooth and nail, Lewis and George. So I don't feel as though it's a particularly difficult thing for him to have processed.
I think opposite. People will be happy to hear that we've got a differing opinion.
An argument.
Yeah, because Hamilton really wanted Bottas to stay. When we had the whole, who will they pick, Bottas and Russell, Hamilton was Bottas's biggest cheerleader and saying that, we've got a good thing going here. Why would you change it? Because people would argue Bottas wasn't delivering and wasn't very good. But when they did have the dominant car, you want someone that's not going to challenge him. And of course, Hamilton, he says he wants the challenge. But I think when you've got that, you're in that position, he probably does have in the back of his mind that Mercedes could deliver me a car now where I can win the championship, but they've signed an extremely talented driver that is going to be my replacement one day. Not my replacement, my predecessor. He was there to join, take over when Hamilton does decide to call it a day, but he's already kind of gone in there and he's not fitted that mold. He's fitted that mold of, well, no, I'm here to win. I think there will be a little bit there, and I wonder how much that does play on his mind as well, of the team didn't listen to me because I wanted Bottas, and I'm sure Red Bull probably listened to Max Verstappen over who he wants as a teammate.
It is an interesting dynamic. Of course, Mercedes have to put the team first, as much as Hamilton's desires of X, Y, and Z are there, and I'm sure they try and fit a lot of what he asks for. They can't just stick. Bottas was never going to be the number one at Mercedes. We could see that from day one, really. So I can see exactly why Mercedes did it, and
they could have been at risk of losing him as well if they'd have said no. Another year at Williams. Look at Piastri.
Next question, Jan_Krubasic. If Russell beats him in back-to-back seasons, could that be the killer blow for his career and motivation? No. I am genuinely of the opinion that Hamilton doesn't really care unless it was for the title. So if he's 4th, 5th in the championship, there might be a bit of, that's a bit annoying, he's beating me in the standings. But I don't think he's going to lose sleep over it. He would if George Russell becomes world champion and Hamilton misses out over the course of a season and gets outperformed by George. But to be beaten to 4th or 3rd or 5th in the championship, I don't think he cares at all.
No, it's only going to be a problem when or if Mercedes deliver that car and George is beating him then.
Next question, Callum Nova. Do you think Mercedes is freezing him out on purpose? No, I don't really understand. Freezing him out in terms of just trying to make him leave? I'm not of that opinion at all. I think Mercedes owe a lot to Hamilton and Hamilton owes a lot to Mercedes. That is a very much a partnership that has had, title record breaking period in Formula One. So I don't think there's any kind of animosity from anybody within Mercedes to try and get Hamilton to move elsewhere.
No, they're definitely not trying to get rid of him, but I think they are. I guess with Russell they didn't completely go with what Hamilton wanted in terms of keeping Bottas. It kind of goes back to that. They had to do what they needed to do. So it's not a case of it's Hamilton's team and we're going to completely sacrifice ourselves for Hamilton. But I don't think they're trying to just kick him out.
Freezing him out, absolutely not. But not pandering to everything that Hamilton wants is perhaps a better way of saying that's the kind of angle that Mercedes are going with. Tobias H_F1. Do you think the sudden departure of Angela Cullen hints at a retirement soon? Now, this one I just can't get my head around. I don't know why. I'm not going to go into it or speculate because it might well just have been personal circumstances for Angela who we don't know anything about in terms of she hasn't come out and said anything. It's very weird to have her leave after one race. So that's why it looks as though it's more sort of personal, and that's why you can't really speculate on it. But from Hamilton's side, it is a big shift. It's someone that's always been around him in race weekends, and that familiarity, and just it must be something that changes and shifts your mindset to it feeling a little bit more foreign when you're actually there at a Grand Prix. You don't have that comfort of knowing that Angela's going to do this, that, and the other for you, and And whoever then slots into that position, there's always going to be a few teething problems and things won't go as smoothly as perhaps they did before. Or, you pick up his dog and, where's the dog gone? All kinds of things that could be like very tiny things, but they can add up because you want as seamless and as less stressful, one or the other, a weekend as possible. And that's someone like your trainer that can be alongside you and always helping you at every stage.
Yeah, she was super reliable to him, and she was there through all his huge successes. So I will speculate, but don't take it as any kind of factual information. This is just obviously everyone has an opinion.
Trust me, no one ever takes any of what we say as factual information, Tommy. Come on.
I just want to check. When I first saw this, my opinion was that I wonder if Hamilton's there, he wants to get his 8th. Angela kind of thought, I'm going to stick with Lewis into another year. Hopefully he gets that 8th title. She's seen that the Mercedes is absolutely awful. Hamilton's going to want to get his 8th and gone, Lewis is going to stay for another 6-7 years here. Nah, bye. Maybe it was always planned, but it just seemed weird timing. But if it wasn't planned, maybe it's just a case of, look, Lewis, I don't want to go into another crazy long season doing this. And I don't know. We'll never know unless one day she writes
Angela
a book.
Puts a book, a nice little book. That'll be ideal for her. That'll make her some cash.
Yeah.
Let's speak about Hamilton then. His next move. What will it be? Of course, mentioned that his contract expires at the end of the season. And WJ Kederman asks, should he switch teams? And if yes, to which one? Okay, my brain and my heart are two different things, okay?
Yeah.
My brain is saying, God, no, don't change. Just stick with Mercedes. They have the track record that hardly any other teams have in this modern era. Why would you go to another team and roll the dice at the end of your career? My heart is saying, God, just go and convince Horner to have a little one-season pop with Red Bull, Verstappen versus Hamilton in the same team. Oh my God, Drive to Survive. They would be absolutely drooling and licking their lips over that one. But no, my brain is saying absolutely not. It makes no sense.
It doesn't. He is in that kind of twilight of his career, and it's a big risk to move now. And I just also don't see where he's going. You mentioned Mercedes, and I obviously kind of half jesting that the car was terrible because it's terrible for a Mercedes, but they are 3rd in the Constructors' title. They're joint, actually, 2nd if you don't count on kind of race results. They've got exactly the same points as Aston Martin. So if you look at where Hamilton could go, the only step up is Red Bull. Christian Horner today has been asked by Sky and he said, nah. Aston Martin is a weird one. Some people saying, oh, well, Alonso will retire soon. But for me, that's a sideways step. Even if he does, I do think Mercedes would be the team to get it right eventually. And then Ferrari, I'd love to see it. I would absolutely, that for me is my heart would want to see that.
Yeah.
And just having to watch F1 with popcorn every week because it'd be incredible. Could he change the mentality there? But even that, I think that would also create problems of, well, what's that message to someone like Charles Leclerc, who's put his faith in Ferrari?
Next question. Alex presents, do you think Lewis will race anywhere else later on in life? Indy, NASCAR, Formula E, etc.? No.
No, next.
There's no, I don't
never.
think.
I'm pretty sure Hamilton himself has said, it's F1 or nothing for me.
Final question. Will Hamilton get his 8th before he leaves Formula One? 18,000 of you voted in our Twitter poll, and 74% of you said no.
Ouch.
My opinion, I don't think so. It's a really difficult thing to see where he'll get his 8th. If Mercedes don't figure it out in the next year or two, he's then in a really difficult position where, he might have to move teams, but then you have to think of an adjustment phase when you move to a new team, and he doesn't have that long left in his career to be making such drastic changes at 40 years old or whatever.
I thought saying no would be a hot take that was going to get me cancelled on Twitter for saying no, but 74%, agree, and that is crazy to me. Wonder what this percentage would have been at the end of 2021, start of the 2022 season. Probably more than 74% the other way. It seems unheard of that we're sat here wondering. So many people think it's not going to happen, and I sadly don't think it will either.
Anyway, thank you so much, everybody, and we'll see you very soon for another piece of content. Bye!
Bye!